Don't play with it, don't be dishonest. Ay, still not understanding.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to go pick a kid up from school. So where was I at? It's January, Brandon's birthday. We're at poker party, and he tells me he wants me to join him at his birthday party. That's going to be at a club. So we were going to leave the poker group early, and I was going to trail him to the guys' meetup spot, the pre-party. And I was the only girl that was going to be at this pre-party, but that was the only way that he knew he can get me out to come and celebrate him for his birthday. Because mind you, remember I told you it was just me and Layla, and I was not studying the outside world. I wasn't interested in going out. I was trying to work on me. I had left my ex in March, April, and I never looked back. Now, don't get me wrong. That's up until that summer, he was trying to court me, but I wasn't going. I think we had went out a time or maybe two. I didn't like him. He was not a likable person. I couldn't stomach him. I couldn't stand this man. So I knew when I left him, when I sold that house, that I was done. So fast forward to January. It's the end of January. Brandon gets me and convinces me to go out. So we're leaving from my parents' house. I'm not sure if any of you, my viewers, are from the city of Chicago, but my parents lived in Beverly. And so we were the guys' meetup spot was, I don't remember where it was, but however we got there, we had to go down the Western Avenue, and we made a right turn on 79th Street. So if you're from the city and if you're from the South Side, you know that Western and 79th Street back in this would have been like 2005. It was always it was a very busy intersection. But I'm trailing him and his best friend, Liddell, who, mind you, I worked with Liddell. So I knew Liddell. Liddell was in his car. Brandon was in his car. And then I was in the third car trailing behind them to go to the guys' meetup spot. Nevertheless, we're driving. I make a right going down 79th and Western Avenue. And somebody tail ends me, bump my car. It was a little rainy out, drizzly. But it's on 79th and Western, not necessarily a good neighborhood at all to be stopped trying to collect somebody's information because she tail-ended me. Lo and behold, who's coming down 79th Street the opposite way, headed the opposite direction, but sees me. And I'm standing on the corner with two guys. L crazy. I'm not with him. We don't talk. At this point, he's not communicating with his daughter, because if he can't have me, obviously he can't be in her life either, in his mind. Not that I stopped him, because I never, ever, ever stopped him from seeing his child. I wasn't cut like that, cut from that cloth. He stopped himself, right? So he coming down the street, he does a U-turn. Now 79th Street and Western Avenue is a crazy busy intersection. It's a lot going on. Liquor store probably on by corners. Usually guys standing up, doing what they do on a corner, and it's a bus stop. It's just a lot going on this intersection. It's a lot of traffic as well. So for you to U-turn in the middle of this crazy intersection and got out of his car and act a plumb fool because he sees me with two guys, and in his mind he like, oh, this show NIG, and I'm like, first of all, no. Second of all, if it was, I don't owe you that. Third of all, don't you realize that I'm trying to collect somebody's information because I've been hit? He didn't care about that. He cared that I was with a guy, and he didn't know which one of the guys. Mind you, I wasn't with either. These are my friends. These are my homeboys. Like, all the way homeboys. Nothing about them, nothing. These were not my guys. These my boys, like my brothers, okay? Brandon anyway. Liddell I was cool with, but that's Brandon like my brother, his best friend. No type of connection, okay? They were just looking out for me because I'm on my way to Brandon's party. And of course, they see me hit. They're not gonna let me sit on this corner and get this information by myself, especially of this intersection, right? He takes my phone, because my phone is in my hand because I'm collecting her data, right? Throws my phone down on the ground. I think I had a necklace. He snatched my necklace off, throws it on the, just acting as crazy as who he is anyway, right? Finally get him to leave. Brandon and Liddell like, dude, this is our sister. This not like this. We not on that. This our friend. This not this kind of party. So they trying to diffuse the situation, trying to keep the lady who actually hit me, trying to collect her information. It was just insane. Insane, okay? Now Brandon, he finally leaves, and I am going through a literal whirlwind of emotion. I'm in disbelief. I am in, I can't even describe the mental space that I was in at that moment on this corner. Luckily, my car wasn't really damaged. At that point, I didn't need the information of that lady because I didn't. That was the least of my troubles at this time. So Brandon like, sis, you're not going back home right now because this man is deranged. He doesn't need to know where you are. You just need to follow us for real now. So I follow them. Mind you, I didn't have a phone. This is when Palm Pilots were a thing. So I'm trying to look, because he threw my phone on the ground. I think I had Prime Code. Y'all remember? Shout out to Prime Code. Listen, that is one phone. I don't care where you were. Prime Code had the best connection, right? You weren't ever going to have bad service with Prime Code. Nevertheless, my good Prime Code phone, the kind that had the flip that you could do like text like this and turn it and put it on the phone. The best phone ever. He broke my phone. I had no communication with the outside world other than my Palm Pilot. I know, I'm dating myself. For the babies watching, Palm Pilot was the bomb. But you still needed a phone because you couldn't talk over by way of a Palm Pilot. It was like, think of what iPads are for us today. That was what Palm Pilots were for us then, okay? Nevertheless, I go to the guys' meetup spot where the women don't get to go, but I was invited to because that was them, my boys. That's my brother. Nevertheless, I go. I wasn't in a good space, but I go. And then we leave the meetup spot and we all head to the club. Luckily, I'm still in my car because I'm really not in a space to go. But again, this dude is crazy. I don't know what he gonna try. He's deranged at this point. So let me get out. I couldn't even call my mom to tell her what happened. I could have used Brandon's phone, but I didn't want to alarm her. Mind you, she's still at the house because it's poker night. So we got company at the house, and I didn't want to bring any additional negative attention or energy on her because she was hosting. I think back and I look back and I just thank God that he got me through that situation. Nevertheless, we get to the club. I'm there. My shell is there, but my mental space was not there, but I was there. So we get to Brandon's section, and he got a lot of, Brandon comes by way of a lot of people. So he got a lot of friends and, whatever. He got a lot of people there and to support him for his party. So he like, sis, you good? I'm like, I'm good. At this point, I got to put on a face for him because it's his day. And I don't want to interrupt his day, but he knew physically what I had just endured, so he was concerned about me, but I didn't want him to be concerned about me. I need you to focus on, let's turn up because it's your birthday, okay? And he that guy. He cool as pie. That's my brother. Nevertheless, I'm in this section. A gentleman asked me, did I want his seat? I'm like, no. I want to sit down. I ain't want to sit down. But I had that, that shape, So my foot was resting on this guy's chair, and baby, that leg was going. Cause when you mad, you know how you get that leg gets to shaking and going, and he had a footrest on his, a bar stool. So that little foot pole that's on the bar stool. I kicked my foot up there, and baby, that leg was going 10, 15 miles an hour. Okay, you know how we do. He said, "You want to sit down?" I'm like, "No, thank you. I'm good." Mind you, I'm in my Palm Pilot. I'm in a club. I am not focused on what is happening around me. I have no idea what's going on. I'm in my Palm Pilot trying to make sure that all my contacts are present, because tomorrow I got to go to the Prime store. I got to get me another phone, because mine was broken. But nevertheless, I was in an accident, and it was a lot. It was a lot going on at that. And this man just lost it on me. Mind you, we're not even together, right? This guy who offered me his chair, he was like, now mind you, what a headspace I'm in. He was like, well, let me put my number, while you're so in tune to this poem, let me put my number in there so you can call me. Call you? First of all, I don't call men, was my exact response to him. I don't call nobody. Oh no, I'm not calling no man. And he looked at me, mind you, at this point, I didn't know this brother was fine. Because I never made eye contact with this dude. And he was like, I think he was taken back, because this is that dude. And he's never experienced rejection. And I rejected him, not because I was just trying to play hard to get, but because sis went in that space. Sis, the last thing that I'm trying to do is build a relationship with somebody, okay? I don't need your number, and no thank you. He was like, oh, okay. So I think at this point I look up at him, and I probably was like, oh, okay. So he was like, well, okay, since you don't call men, why don't you give me your number so I can call you? Okay, whatever. So he was like, let me put your number in my phone, whatever. At this point, whatever, just let me give him my number. Not because I was the most remote interested, but because I really just wanted him to stop talking to me. And he seemed really nice at the moment, but I don't have time for nice, okay? Nice, I don't have time for nice. So I gave him my number. And he was like, I'm gonna call you. I'm like, what's your name? And he says, Ontario. Like, comment, and subscribe. Because, baby, do I have a story about me in Ontario. And we'll do a story time, and I'll make sure that Ontario is in that story time with me. I just thank God. Y'all don't know what I've been through. And I'm sure you, my sisters and my brothers, y'all have some stories to tell. And some of you are going through and experiencing some of the things that we've discussed today. God, let me tell you, God is a way maker. And just keep pushing. Your ending, this isn't it. This ain't it for you. There's such a bright future ahead. Don't give up. Don't give up. Because just when you're at your breaking point, that's when them blessings come through. So stick with it. Please stick with it. Because God is so good. And He's not just good for Natasha. The same blessings He had for me are those same blessings that He got for you. So don't lose hope. Don't lose the faith. God is a way maker, okay? So Ontario says, he tells me his name. I'm like, hi, Ontario. Oh, he had this sexy voice. Oh, I looked at him, but I had nothing to give at that moment. So he was talking, and I'm like, at this point, it's time for me to go because I wasn't in a good space. I wasn't me, because I'm a cool girl, and I wasn't able to be me, and I couldn't even shield what I was going through. I knew it was time for me to go home. So I grabbed B. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna head out now. It was early, and he was like, all right, sis, thank you for coming. You gonna be all right. And I said, I'm gonna be all right. So by this point, I told Ontario's right there. I'm like, I'm. It's nice to meet you, but I'm headed. It's nice to meet you, but I'm headed out. So he's like, let me walk you out. I'm like, no, no, thank you. I'm good. He was like, okay. Next morning, y'all, I kid you not, Ontario Prior. I went to Prime Co that morning. Hold on. Hold the line.